Welcome to the Silicon Valley Cambridge Exam Hackathon. I'm your lead dev, and today we're cracking into the system. We're going to figure out exactly how to bypass the examiner firewall and upgrade a standard B grade into a flawless A star for the Cambridge A-Level Accounting 9706 syllabus. We're treating complex, multi-part accounting problems like an algorithm today. You know, a system that you can solve with absolutely perfect, code-like syntax.
Here is the system boot sequence, our command blueprint to bypass that firewall. We'll be mapping the target, debugging our coders, compiling the method patch, running a beta test, and finally, executing the final deployment.
Let's jump right into Section 1, Core Principles, the target mainframe.
Okay, so our target mainframe for this session is the architecture of break-even analysis. Specifically, we're zeroing in on the contribution to sales ratio and the margin of safety. Now, the core directive, extracted straight from the Cambridge syllabus, is super clear on this. Top-performing students exhibit a connected, conceptual understanding that is perfectly transferable. You know, memorizing formulas, that's just baseline processing. To get the top marks, you've got to dynamically connect syllabus areas. Think about how a change in the C/ratio directly impacts your margin of safety, and then you have to adapt those principles to entirely new business environments. It's like a giant puzzle, and you need to see how all the pieces fit together.
All right, moving to Section 2, Command Matrix Debugging.
To see exactly where memory leaks happen in the exam room, let's debug two specific user personas. We built these straight from the principal examiner reports. First up, meet Dev Alex. Alex is fantastic at raw data inputs. Calculating break-even points in seconds. But Alex causes massive memory leaks because the written analysis is just vague and entirely context-blind. Then on the other side, we have Dev Sam. Sam understands the logical loops deeply, which is great, but completely fails the strict formatting and syntax presentation rules that the Cambridge firewall literally demands. Both of these coders are missing out on the A star, but for entirely different coding errors.
And look, these aren't just isolated glitches. A direct system bug report from the Cambridge principal examiners shows that candidate answers are, quite frankly, frequently just too vague. If you write a brilliant analytical algorithm, but output it in a messy, unstructured format, the examiner program is going to reject it. It's that simple.
So the absolutely crucial point here is avoiding what we call a context leak. A context leak occurs when your extended response fails to apply specifically to the unique context given in the stimulus materials. For instance, if the exam gives you a scenario about a specific manufacturing business facing a raw material shortage, and your analysis string just spits out generic textbook definitions of the margin of safety, well, your code isn't specific to the given environment. The examiner firewall will immediately block your marks. Boom, denied.
Let's boot up Section 3, the analytical patch.
But hey, real quick, before we push our final patch to secure maximum marks on this topic, we need to temporarily halt the compile screen for a critical system update. Optimize your system feed right now. Make sure you subscribe to Ace the Exams at the @AceTheExams handle so you never miss an algorithm update. Seriously, turning on all notifications means you get our weekly system updates directly to your terminal, keeping your exam technique completely bug-free.
Okay, resuming the compile. Here is the 5-step procedural framework required to secure those all-important method marks. In Cambridge Accounting 9706, systematic processing follows this standardized sequence. Number 1, identify key elements. 2, apply relevant principles. 3, execute the analysis with crystal clear working. 4, verify results. And 5, present in the appropriate format. Using this exact syntax ensures you get partial credit, those sweet method marks, even if, heaven forbid, the final output variable is miscalculated.
So, when Dev Alex or Dev Sam hits a logic error mid-argument, how do they fix it? They deploy PEEL syntax. PEEL stands for point, evidence, explanation, and link. It's a logic structure deployed to debug mid-argument errors and upgrade extended paragraphs instantly. If you feel your evaluation is getting messy, stop. Make your point, back it up with evidence from the stimulus data, provide your explanation of why it actually matters, and link it back to the core question. Doing this instantly patches the paragraph and totally satisfies those rigorous academic benchmarks.
Let's enter Section 4, the beta testing arena. Let's run an immersive reader audit on your evaluative processing speed right now. I'm starting a simulated 60-second visual countdown in our minds. Analyze the break-even versus current sales volume data and extract the trend. Ask yourself, what happens to the business's risk profile as that current sales volume bar creeps closer to the break-even bar?
Well, if you identify that the risk of operating at a loss exponentially increases as the margin of safety shrinks, then congratulations, your trend extraction algorithm is working perfectly.
So, how does this build into comparative analysis? Because to reach the highest tier of the rubric, you absolutely cannot just list facts. You must question assumptions and identify both similarities and differences using precise comparative language. We're talking about deploying words like conversely, whereas, or indirect contrast to.
It all comes down to the hierarchy of higher-order assessment objectives. Check this out. Level 1 is descriptive. That's just stating what the data is, yielding low marks. Level 2 is analytical, which is explaining why the data is what it is. But level 3? Level 3 is evaluative, and this right here is A-star territory. This demands evaluating alternatives, comparing different business approaches, and ultimately providing justified recommendations backed by your actual C/S ratio and margin of safety data.
But wait, before you write that Level 3 evaluation, you must heed this critical system warning overlay. Examiner alert. Principal examiner reports revealed that candidates consistently confuse key terminology. You must always define theoretical terms before using them in extended responses. Think of it exactly like declaring your variables at the top of your code script. Define the C/ratio clearly before you start executing complex calculations and arguments based around it.
All right, finalizing the run. Section 5, final code deployment. The compile is complete, so let's lock in our optimized text string in the cheat sheet architecture. Here are the 3 non-negotiable takeaways you need to commit to your hard drive. Number 1, provide specific, context-driven details. Do not cause a context leak like DevAlex. Number 2, verify precise formatting syntax. Don't lose easily avoidable marks on presentation like DevSam. And number 3, always define terminology before execution. Declare those variables.
Remember, the number 9706 isn't just some random syllabus code. Treating the Cambridge 9706 syllabus like a logical algorithm is your ultimate hack to minimizing bugs, demonstrating higher-order evaluative thinking, and maximizing your marks. Systematic analysis and evidence-based reasoning will literally always beat rote memorization, every single time.
To keep your operating system running at peak performance, make sure to subscribe to @AceTheExams for your next masterclass update. Click the bell to turn on notifications, and right now I want you to drop a comment below with your exact subject and level so we can optimize your feed for future explainers.
And before you log off the terminal today, I want to leave you with one final query to process. Which system bug in your exam technique are you going to patch first? Is it the vague context leak, or maybe the sloppy formatting syntax? Identify it, run the patch, and get back to coding your way to that A-star. See you in the next explainer.